Freemasonry has long captured the public imagination. It's often seen as the world's oldest and largest secret society. For centuries, whispers of hidden rituals, powerful members, and clandestine influence have surrounded the fraternity. This air of mystery is not entirely accidental. The organization, also known as the craft, has historically valued discretion. Its members are bound by oaths not to reveal the specific details of their ceremonies. This has led to a great deal of speculation and misunderstanding. Many people wonder what truly happens behind the closed doors of a Masonic lodge. Is it a group dedicated to global domination, or something far more ordinary and constructive? The reality of Freemasonry is often less sensational than the myths suggest. It's not a secret society, but rather a society with secrets. The difference is important. Its existence is public knowledge, and Masonic halls are clearly marked in towns and cities worldwide. Its members do not hide their affiliation. The secrets themselves pertain to the methods of recognition, the grips and words, and the allegorical plays that make up its degree ceremonies. These are designed to teach moral lessons in a memorable way. The fraternity's core purpose is to take good men and help them become better through self-improvement, fellowship, and community service. The allure of Freemasonry is deeply connected to its reputation for esoteric knowledge and hidden truths. People are naturally drawn to what they cannot fully see or understand. This has fueled countless books, movies, and conspiracy theories over the years. These narratives often paint the Masons as a shadowy cabal, pulling the strings of government and finance. While these stories make for exciting fiction, they obscure the fraternity's actual principles. The organization is fundamentally a system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. Its primary goal is to foster personal growth, encourage charitable acts, and build a strong sense of brotherhood among its members. Understanding Freemasonry requires looking past the popular caricatures and examining its true foundations. It's a fraternity built on timeless principles of integrity, friendship, respect, and charity. Its members are encouraged to be upright citizens, devoted to their families and faithful to their personal spiritual beliefs. The journey into the Masonic world is not about uncovering a global conspiracy. Instead, it's a personal journey of ethical and intellectual development. It's an exploration of moral philosophy through ancient symbols and rituals, shared with a community of like-minded men seeking to improve themselves and the world around them. The origins of Freemasonry are not lost in the mists of mythical antiquity, as some romantic tales suggest. Its direct roots trace back to the guilds of operative stonemasons who built the great cathedrals and castles of the Middle Ages. These skilled craftsmen possessed valuable knowledge of geometry and architecture, which they guarded carefully. They developed systems of recognition, including secret words and handshakes, to prove their skill level and protect their trade from outsiders. As they traveled from one construction site to another, they organized themselves into lodges. These lodges served as both workshops and places for rest, education, and mutual support, forming the blueprint for the fraternity to come. The transition from a guild of working stonemasons to a fraternity of speculative masons occurred gradually. By the late 16th and early 17th centuries, the great era of cathedral building was waning. To bolster their declining numbers, these operative lodges began accepting men who were not stonemasons. These new members, known as accepted or speculative masons, were gentlemen and intellectuals. They were not interested in cutting stone, but were drawn to the moral philosophy and allegorical traditions of the stonemasons' guilds. They began to use the tools of stonemasonry, the square, compasses, level, and plumb, as symbols to teach moral lessons. A pivotal moment in Masonic history arrived on June 24, 1717. On that day, 4 existing lodges in London gathered at the Goose and Gridiron Ale House. They formed the first Grand Lodge of England, creating a central governing body for the fraternity. This event marks the official birth of modern, organized Freemasonry. The establishment of the Grand Lodge standardized rituals, created a formal structure, and set the stage for the fraternity's rapid expansion. It shifted the focus entirely from the practical art of building with stone to the speculative art of building a better character within each man. Freemasonry flourished during the Age of Enlightenment in the 18th century. Its ideals of reason, liberty, and religious tolerance resonated deeply with the intellectual currents of the time. Lodges became safe havens where men from different social classes and religious backgrounds could meet as equals. They discussed philosophy, science, and the rights of man, all under the guiding principles of brotherhood and mutual respect. The fraternity acted as a powerful vehicle for spreading Enlightenment ideas across Europe and the American colonies. It promoted a worldview where individual merit and moral virtue were more important than noble birth or religious dogma, influencing many future leaders. The basic organizational unit of Freemasonry is the lodge, often called a Blue Lodge or Craft Lodge. Each lodge is chartered by a Grand Lodge, which serves as the sovereign governing body for a specific geographic area, like a state or a country. Within the lodge, members advance through 3 progressive stages or degrees. Media group, ceremonial regalia of Freemasons laid out. Freemasons standing in formation in lodge at stock at distribute equally. Entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Each degree is conferred in a ritual ceremony that uses allegory and symbolism to impart moral and philosophical lessons. The journey through these degrees represents a man's progress from ignorance to enlightenment, teaching him his duties to himself, his neighbor, and his God. A fundamental requirement for any man wishing to join the fraternity is a belief in a supreme being. Freemasonry is not a religion, and it does not offer a path to salvation. However, it's a deeply spiritual organization. The specific name or nature of this supreme being is left to the individual member's conscience. This principle allows men of different faiths, Christians, Jews, Muslims, and others, to come together in harmony. To maintain this peace, 2 subjects are strictly forbidden from discussion within a lodge meeting. Media group, Masonic gavel resting on table with empty chairs, sign reading no politics or religion in meeting room at stock at distribute equally, partisan politics, and sectarian religion. The focus remains squarely on the universal values of morality, charity, and brotherhood that unite them. The secrets of Freemasonry are perhaps its most famous and misunderstood aspect. These secrets are primarily the modes of recognition, the specific handshakes, words, and signs that allow one Mason to recognize another. They also include the allegorical content of the degree rituals. These traditions are kept private not to conceal nefarious activities, but to preserve the unique experience for new candidates. The rituals are dramatic plays where the candidate is the central character, learning important life lessons through participation. Revealing the details beforehand would spoil the impact and lessen the power of the moral teachings that are intended to be discovered through personal experience. The symbols of the craft are its most visible and enduring feature. The square and compasses are the most widely recognized emblem of Freemasonry. The square symbolizes morality and virtue, while the compasses represent the importance of circumscribing one's desires and keeping passions within due bounds. Another prominent symbol is the all-seeing eye, which represents the watchful care of the Supreme Being and the idea that one's thoughts and actions are always observed. These symbols are not objects of worship. They are teaching tools. They serve as constant visual reminders to Masons of their obligations to live an ethical and upright life. The influence of Freemasonry on world history is significant, though sometimes overstated. Many prominent figures were members of the fraternity. These include luminaries like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Winston Churchill, and numerous American founding fathers. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Paul Revere were all dedicated Masons. The fraternity's principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity resonated strongly with the ideals of the American Revolution. Masonic lodges in the colonies served as meeting places where ideas of independence could be discussed freely among men who would become leaders in the new republic. The fraternity's structure and values undeniably helped shape the foundation of the United States. Despite its positive contributions, Freemasonry has faced its share of controversy and opposition. For centuries, the Catholic Church has condemned the fraternity, issuing papal bulls against it due to its secrecy, use of oaths, and principles of religious indifferentism, which places different faiths on an equal footing. This historical opposition fueled public suspicion. Furthermore, the fraternity's discretion has made it a prime target for conspiracy theories, which falsely accuse it of everything from orchestrating wars to practicing occultism. These myths, while persistent, are not supported by evidence and fundamentally misrepresent the nature and purpose of the organization. In the 21st century, Freemasonry is undergoing a period of significant change. For decades, membership in many parts of the world was in decline. In response, many grand lodges have embraced greater transparency to demystify the fraternity and attract new members. They now have public websites, engage in community outreach, and host open houses to answer questions from the public. The core mission, however, remains the same. The fraternity continues to be a major charitable force, with Masonic organizations donating millions of dollars daily to causes like children's hospitals, medical research, and local scholarships. It provides a community for men seeking personal growth. In conclusion, Freemasonry's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It is an institution that has been both a quiet force for positive change and a subject of intense suspicion. It has provided millions of men with a framework for moral and intellectual development. It has championed Enlightenment ideals and contributed to the formation of modern democracies. Today, it continues to adapt, moving from an era of guarded secrecy to one of greater openness. Its enduring purpose is to provide a space where men can meet in fellowship, support one another in their journey to become better individuals, and work together to serve their communities, proving its lasting value as a fraternity of ethics and friendship.